Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Bendigo Bank MCDFNL Preview Show. A late edition this week. You know what they say about better late than never. Sean Kelly's my name. With me is League Operations Manager Scott Carey. Scotty, welcome to the show, mate.
Thanks, Shorty. Good to be back.
Despite the fact that it's basically getting out at the 11th hour, this show, it's still a pretty good one. We've got some guests in. We're going to talk youth girls. It's going to be a pretty good show.
Yeah, it certainly will be, mate. Massive week, and that's probably why we're a little late, but like you said, better late than never, so let's get stuck into it.
Let's get straight into it and have a look at this weekend's games. Round 4 of MCDFNL action, and of course, Mother's Day and Respect for Women round. And we thank all of the women out there, mums or otherwise, that do such fantastic work with our football and netball clubs. We've got female presidents, secretaries, everything you could ask for. You do an absolutely fantastic job, and this weekend is all about appreciating the work that you guys do in your role. So thank you very much to all of the ladies out there. We're going to start the game off this week between Harcourt and Avoca, Scotty. This is a pretty big game for the seasons of both of these teams. Neither of them yet to strike a blow this year. This could be, it's basically season over, really. The team that loses this game can kiss finals goodbye.
Oh, absolutely. Sean, 0-4 is exactly where you don't want to be. Yeah, I've got no idea who to go with this one. Probably both a bit short on numbers, maybe a couple of injuries as well at the start of the year. Probably up and down with their form as well. There hasn't really been a consistent game from either of them yet over the first 3 weeks. So, look, it's a really tough one. I'm going to probably just go with Harcourt being the home side. That's probably all that's going to tip it over the edge for me.
Yeah, probably the same for me as well. Obviously, a little bit of unknown to both teams. The one thing you can nearly guarantee is that Avoca will start this game out well. They've started each of their first 3 games well so far, but then they've tailed off. There's obviously a couple of weeks to get their fitness going up at Avoca, and they'll be okay. Alec Wiltshire missing this week as well. Got a bit of a knock a couple of weeks ago, and just having another week off as a precaution, which takes a bit of run out of the Avoca side. And look, I just think Harcourt at home, they're starting to get better. They're starting to get some familiar faces back into the side. I just reckon they'll just get over the line.
I think so, mate.
Moving along, the next game we'll speak of, Talbot v Carisbrook. And we're not actually going to do too much speaking on this game, Scott Carey, because it's already been done. We caught up with a couple of the boys, the assistant coaches from each of the side at Interleague training on Wednesday night. Matt Smith from Talbot and Cole Roscholler from Carisbrook. So let's have a listen to what the boys had to say. Welcome back to the Bendigo Bank MCDFNL Preview Show. We're going to preview this week's big game between Talbot and Carisbrook. And joining us to do so, we have the assistant coaches from both of the teams. Firstly, Matthew Smith, our Footy Show favourite from the Talbot Footy Club. Sure, welcome, mate.
Thanks for having me again. Yeah, it's fantastic.
No problems at all. Of course, Scott Carey's here as well. Of course, the League Operations Manager. Welcome back, mate.
Thanks, Shorty. Been a couple of weeks off, and I think Sammy Gowes has had a bit too much airtime the last few weeks. So
ratings have tanked, so we thought we had to get you back on.
Yeah, that's right. They've gone down dramatically in the last couple of weeks, but we'll get them back up.
We will. I know it's not my fault they've gone down, so it must be Sam. And also joining us, the little man down the end, is the assistant coach of the Carisbrook Football Club, Cole Roscholler. Cole, welcome to the show, mate.
Thanks, Shawnee. Thanks for having me, boys.
Not a problem at all. And the first thing we're going to do, Scott, is announce the Max Fashion and Surf Round 3 Player of the Week. Just so happens to be one of the gentlemen sitting on this table with us. 5 goals on the weekend. A reported 12 Ks throughout the midfield. Pretty good game done by Cole Roscholler, our Max Fashion and Surf Round 3 Player of the Week. Cole, congratulations as Scott provides you with your $50 Max Fashion and Surf certificate.
Thanks, Shawnee. Yeah, just lucky enough to get on the end of a couple out at Carisbrook on Saturday night. It was a good win for the boys.
You might be able to buy yourself a Carisbrook jumper out of it, mate, so you can bring one in tonight.
Well, Max are our great sponsor as well, so they're just on order. So hopefully they'll be in soon.
Good to hear. Sherm, tell us a little bit about the season, because when you came in last time, everything was cock-a-hoop. You'd taken on Malden, you'd absolutely flogged them, the job had been done. Hadn't quite got the results on the board in the last couple of weeks, but if there's such a thing as an honourable loss, you've had them over the last fortnight.
I guess there are things as honourable losses, but I think that's something as a football club that we're getting sick of. There's only so many honourable losses you can have, I guess, across the last few years that we have had that you just really need to start turning them into wins, I guess, and that's what we need to do for the club to keep progressing forward. Obviously, having Navarre on the weekend, you know, they're a really, really good team. You know, we're happy to push them all the way and make a really good contest of it. But you know, obviously, you play to get the 4 points. Kenmores Creek was, you know, pretty disappointing. Obviously, as you said, with Malden, we had a fantastic win against Malden, and we stuck to our structures and our game plan, and everything seemed to work and flow really well. If anything, I think we probably maybe just had too much time off between our first game and then facing Creek again, because obviously we were the week beforehand, maybe to think about things, and we lost some focus heading over to Creek, and you know, in the end, that cost us the 4 points.
Talk to us a little bit about this week. You come up against a team this week that have lost, in the last 3 years, have lost a number of games you can count on one hand. Really good test for you guys at home to really kind of turn those honourable losses around and get a major scalp.
Oh, obviously, yeah, it'd be fantastic if we were to get across the line on the weekend, but we're obviously going to have to do a lot of things right to beat Carisbrook, because as you've said, they've been a great team for the last few years, or for a long time even, I guess. So we'll have to definitely make sure that we're on our game, yeah, it's you never know what's going to happen in football, I guess, but you just got to make sure you prepare well and give yourself the best chance to win.
Cole, your first year at Carisbrook, obviously. How are you finding it in the District League? Obviously, we're sitting in your old headquarters now at Princes Park, so how are you finding things down at Brook?
Yeah, it's been a bit of a different scenery change for me, so it's taken a while, a couple of weeks to adjust, and everyone at the club's been fantastic to welcome me into the club and into the culture of the club. Just starting to learn the Carisbrook brand, and we're so famous for, so it's been good so far, and hopefully we can continue our winning ways on the weekend.
What role have you been playing throughout the season so far?
Throughout the season I've been midfield forward, so changing forward with Brandon Redmond, a former Talbot player.
Fantastic. Shaun, I reckon we'll move away from the footy a little
Good,
bit.
we need to.
Got a couple of the Wendouree Cricket Club opening batsmen here that formed probably late in the season, coming off 5 flags in a row for Wendouree Cricket Club. And it's a bit of a moment in the semi-final, which I might get Cole to explain. Matty Smith's had a bit of a moment facing an Australian fast bowler.
Matty Smith always has a moment.
Former Australian fast bowler Shane Harwood come tearing in from the city end, and I might let Cole explain what happened.
I think next year Matt's looking for a new personal sponsor in Bonds Jocks, because he'll be looking for a new pair after Shane Harwood bounced him out in the semi-final. It was quite a disturbing sight from the other end, seeing your opening partner terrified down there charging off. It wasn't the greatest start to the innings, but that's okay. You move on, and hopefully he'll spend the summer working on that short pitch bowling, and he can be a lot better.
I guess all I can say in relation to that is I did hit him for 4, and that's a scup that I've got now, and I did make more than Cole, and I'm pretty sure, Scott Kerry, that I overtook your opening position due to your lack of form. Is that true?
That's one thing I was going to mention as well, Cole. Obviously, all 4 of us play at the Wendouree Cricket Club. I don't really play all that much because I don't get a game, but these blokes do. You've opened the batting with both of these guys in the last season. Who's the better opening partner?
I'd probably have to say Scott. When you open with Matthew, it's like babysitting. He wants you to tell you that he's done a good job if he leaves one go. No, Matthew, that's the job of the opening batsman, to get through the new ball. You haven't done your job after one good leave.
I like it.
I'll take that, Shaun, because I didn't see it off the new ball very often. So, as you could probably tell, Shaun, these two don't mind getting at each other. Little banter here and there.
Well, we've been hearing about this game since January, basically since the fixture was released.
Exactly. So. They asked for the game to be on early. They've both asked for it to be filmed. I'm just wondering whether we need to film both of them individually and keep an eye on the match review panel at the end of the week. There could be a couple of backhanders from both of you. I just want to make sure you're not fair players.
I think Matthew runs a bit too wide on the wings for myself to see. I heard that from the Talbot boys, he's actually been wearing shin pads off his half-back roll, so he's been hitting his shins on some toe balls lately. He's been running that wide, but only rumours I've heard from a couple of the Talbot boys.
It's interesting though, Shaun, because now with the new half-back roll that you're playing off, you're probably going to run in the direction of Cole at some stage on Saturday afternoon at Talbot. What have you got in store?
It'd probably be unfortunate, I guess, if Cole had to sit underneath the ball on the half-forward flank at some stage. We'll see what happens, I guess.
So there's some big boys in that Talbot forward line this year too that could just quite easily pile drive him into the ground.
Yeah, there's a couple, I guess. We'll see what happens. He's probably a bit quick though for me, so I might have to play a bit smarter. Yeah, maybe I'll just have to slow him down, as you said. Put you on mute.
In all seriousness, Cole Roscholler, the footballer, how are you going to try and stop him on the weekend, coming off a pretty good weekend personally for him?
I just obviously floated forward on the weekend as he was talking about kick 5, so we've probably just got to make sure we don't let him get our goal side too often, I'd say. Just make sure that we put his disposals under pressure, so that'll be coming from the midfield hopefully as well. Forwards pushing up, putting on pressure from all angles, I guess, so it'll have to be a team effort. I don't think you can always just leave it to one person.
And likewise, Cole, obviously Matty's been playing pretty well in a new role of half-back this year. Have you got any certain plans in place to kind of try and curb his influence?
I think the biggest thing is that if Matthew decides to zone off, that we use his man going into our forward 50.
Yes, good.
So, and then we just have to assess and watch when they've got the football that we're always accountable. So that just isn't one half forward role. That might be a midfielder dropping down as well. So.
Well, boys, it's been an absolute pleasure having you here tonight. It's going to be an absolute pleasure watching you go about your business on Saturday, as usual, as you come up against each other, Matt. Thanks for joining us, mate. You're about probably 3 weeks due after this for another appearance, so we look forward to that.
Yeah, I think I've got it penciled in the diary, so yeah, just make sure you give me a text so just in case I forget.
Don't call us, we'll call you.
Thanks.
And Cole, congratulations on the award this week,
Thank
mate.
you.
The Player of the Week award, and best of luck this weekend coming up against Talbot.
Thanks, Shawnee.
Cole Roscholler and Matt Smith, the assistant coaches for Carisbrook and Talbot, helping us preview this match. It's time to go back to the studio. Matt Smith from Talbot and Cole Roscholler from Carisbrook, and we found out who the better batsman out of the two of them, as well as you, Scotty, so that's very good to know as well.
Yeah, I think they're both happy to pump themselves up, but we'll
Well and
find
truly.
out probably next cricket season, I'd say.
We will, and we'll also find out a bit on Saturday about the bona fides of both of these sides, which way you're heading.
Well, I think this will be closer than some people might think. Carisbrook are probably favourites going into the game. Talbot probably again have had a couple off weeks. They lost to Campbell's Creek, had a very good game, I thought, on the weekend against Navarre, coming within a couple of goals, 2 or 3 goals there. So they're certainly on the up. I think the home ground again, similar to Harcourt, is going to play advantage. I'm going to stick with Carisbrook. I think they'll just get over the line.
I like that. You've given us all the reasons why Talbot can win,
Yes.
and then tipped against them.
Yeah,
Good.
don't know whether that's if I like Cole more than Matt or not, but we won't let Matt know that one. So that's fine. I think I'm going to stick with Carisbrook. I think they've just got enough winners on each line for now, and Talbot are probably still just getting used to each other. They'll probably be a bit better in the second half of the year.
I agree with you. I think Carisbrook in a close one, they'll just get up. Ryan Hudson-Morgan comes back into the side this week, which is a huge inclusion for them, even though Josh Parsons back into the Talbot side does add a bit going forward. But look, I reckon Carisbrook as well, just getting over the line in this one. Natty Bialaba versus Denali. Now, this game being played at Hedges Oval this week, Scotty, not out at Natty. Natty's room's still not quite ready yet.
Yeah, certainly are, Shawnee. We appreciate the assistance from Royal Park, allowing their ground to
Good
be
on
used
you,
in their
Bushy.
canteen. So thank you very much to those guys, and thank you to Denali as well, who are accommodating to Natty as well and heading over there. So again, another good game here. I think Natty are going to be too strong for Denali. A couple of handy players through Natty and have been playing well the last couple of weeks. So should win comfortably. Probably good for Natty getting a chance on 2 of our finals venues too, Shawnee, early in the year. It's probably not a bad warm-up.
It is. Big ground this weekend. Going to be interesting. I actually think this one will be reasonably close because Denali haven't been that bad in the last couple of weeks. Daniel Gifford's not playing for Natty this week. I was speaking to him a fair bit in interleague training on Wednesday night, and he's got a corky that just hasn't quite come up yet. So I don't think he'll take to the field tomorrow. And look, I give Denali a show here. I really do. I don't think they're going to win it. I think Natty will get up, but it's not going to be a big margin as our studio audience enters the room for tonight. Lexington taking on Malden at Lexington this weekend, and this is one where you think the Tigers would be too strong.
Absolutely. Shouldn't have any issues getting over Malden this week, especially at home. Probably a couple of weeks, a lot of new guys coming to Lexington this year, and a few weeks to get used to each other, and they've done that with a couple of wins as well. So should get over the line easy.
Yeah, they should do. Maryborough Rovers taking on Newstead at Jubilee Oval on Saturday. And another interesting game, obviously Newstead taking it all before them this year. And Mark Ramsey has officially turned into a forward now after 9 goals again last week and 24 on the season. But Rovers are improving. Rovers are looking okay.
Certainly are, mate. And the twos got up after no win for 2.5 years.
That's why Sam Bowers didn't want to come on today, because he played against the Rovers
he
in
did
that
play,
team.
so he's a bit shy at the moment.
A little bit.
They're certainly on the improved Rovers from last year, and I don't think they'll win, but especially when you've got a bloke kicking 11 and 9 2 weeks in a row, Shawnee. So Newstead for me, quite comfortably.
Yeah, Newstead for mine as well. Trentham taking on Royal Park. A night game once again. Trentham get to test their lights again, and they get to test themselves against Royal Park. And who would have thought that we'd be talking about this game, Scotty, and we'd be introducing 2 undefeated teams, and the latter leading Royal Park?
Yes, I wouldn't have picked it at the start of the year, Shawnee.
I wouldn't have picked it 2 weeks ago.
I think we're going to get a top of the ladder clash, to be honest. I think it's going to be a very close game. I'm actually going to go with Trentham at home under lights. They've had a game under there already, and probably better for the run. So Royal Park, a bit unknown coming under the lights. I'm going to go Trentham.
Before you say that, Clayton Scoble's not playing this week. Shoulder injury, probably done for the year and maybe forever.
Yeah.
Big out. Callum Welling's back in, though. He's a class act as a 16-year-old kid for Trentham. But
Absolutely.
Scoble out, change the tip any?
No, he's a very big out, but
Huge out.
he's still going to have a massive impact on the sidelines as a coach. He's very outstanding coach. So, no, I'm going to stick with them.
The thing is, that out's enough to sway me. I reckon Bushy will win this now. Bushy going along quite nicely. Greg Stewart's got them going beautifully at the moment, and just their run and carry through the midfield is something to behold at the moment. And I reckon they can win this and keep top spot for another week. Then on Sunday, Mother's Day Sunday, we head out to Campbell's Creek for what's going to be another pretty good game between Campbell's Creek and Navarre. Obviously, Navarre undefeated, and Campbell's Creek got tripped up at Royal Park last week, but they're back at the Creek at home, which we know that they've built a team to suit that ground this year, and Navarre could be in for a bit of a tough fight on Sunday.
Yeah, it seems to be the case. Sides coming out of Campbell's Creek, they don't know how to play the ground, and they certainly do play it well. And if you go on past results, they've knocked over Talbot, who got within a couple of goals in Navarre a couple of weeks or last week. So, it could be a close one. I think Navarre, obviously, got a lot of outstanding players and winners on each line. So, I'm going to go with the Grasshoppers and probably go about 5 goals, I reckon, Shaun.
Yeah, Hoppers for me as well. Look for the Driscoll boys to fire again. They had the muscles gleaming at interleague training on Wednesday night. Cody looks like he's been in the gym, I reckon, for about 3.5 years. Kid's 18 years old and he's already absolutely shredded, but they are looking in fantastic form, Navarre, and I reckon they'll get over the line in a pretty close game this weekend. That's all of our senior action for this week, Scotty, but it's not the only game of note on Sunday, because the MCDFNL Lions youth girls team makes their debut on Sunday in the Ballarat Footy League Youth Girls Competition at Jubilee Oval.
Absolutely, mate. Starting at 1:30, fantastic effort to get the girls up over the summer, and Junior Development Officer Brandon Weatherson has done a fantastic job getting those girls together, and they look good in their uniform.
They do.
With a photo.
They look fantastic.
Check the Addy out. I think the girls would have featured in there, which is fantastic. So they're all excited about a couple of practice games and done very well. So it should be a good day on Sunday.
It should be, and I've got myself a copy of the Youth Girls record, which you can pick up at the ground for no charge, of course, on Sunday. And we open up the team list, and there's 20-odd girls on the list already, so it's fantastic to see. And rumour is it that we've got that many players that there'll be a couple of girls that'll miss out this week, which I suppose, given that we've just started the team in February this year, is absolutely fantastic. And look, full credit to the training staff in here, Coach Brandon Weatherson and team manager Scott Carey. Well done, Scotty.
I think I've been dobbed in there by Brandon, but more than happy to help out.
And maybe Aaron Nunn from the BFL as well.
I'd say so, but I'm happy to help out, mate. It's going to be a great day.
It is. It's going to be a fantastic day at Jubilee Oval. It's going to be a fantastic day of football and netball throughout the MCDFNL this weekend. Thanks for joining us on the Bendigo Bank MCDFNL Preview Show. We'll see you again next week.